Have you visited us online for the grand opening of KBLA.store? For the best in new merch, gift ideas, books, media, and more, log on to KBLA.store. Be sure to check out our KBLA team favorites at KBLA.store today. That's KBLA.store for all the official merch on your favorite talk radio station, KBLA Talk 1580.
You ready?
Come on! It's the Queen of Royal Badness.
It's time for the Raw Report with Robin Ayers.
Highlighting people and things you should know about.
Robin's got you covered. Follow Robin at Robin Ayers. You're listening to the Raw Report on KBLA Talk 1580.
Robin's got a lot to talk about.
It's just me against the world. Me against the world, baby. I got nothing to lose. It's just me against the world. Me against the world, baby. Can you picture my prophecy?
You are listening to the Raw Report on KBLA Talk 1580, where we bring you the latest in entertainment news, trending topics, and interviews. I am your host, Robin Ayers, and happy to be with you. It's Friday. We made it, y'all. We made it. I hope you are having a fantastic Friday, going into the weekend. Maybe you have some great things planned out. For me, it's looking a lot like rest. I don't know what it's looking like for you, but anyway, that Tupac right there, Andy, great way to bring in the weekend, great way to bring in Friday. And of course, we are talking Tupac today because really, really big news dropped today. So we're going to talk about that all. Don't you worry about it. Definitely want to send a heavenly happy birthday to Stephen Twitch Boss. If you remember Stephen, he was, people addressed him as Twitch. He was known as the dancer. He was like a DJ with Ellen DeGeneres and had a lot of people smiling all the time. Well, his wife, Allison, posted a photo with their three children, sending him lots of love on his birthday, the first birthday without him being here. So definitely sending love and condolences to the family and friends of Twitch. Okay, Drake. For those of you who are Drake fans, I know we've been talking about Drake a little bit, or a lot of bit recently. Drake is one number one hit away from tying Michael Jackson as the male soloist with the most number one hits in Hot 100 history. Dang, Drake? Yeah, no, Drake is that guy. I mean, who knew? Like, Michael Jackson for so long had stood on his own and created such a divide, not even a divide, a gap between himself and so many other solo artists. But here it is. Drake is on his way. So, yeah, if you hear that Drake comes out with another number one hit, that means he's tying Michael Jackson and very possibly can, exceed the one and only MJ. I guess we will wait to see if he makes history, but it'll be making history anyway, even if he ties Michael Jackson. Okay, so if you all remember, I did touch on this when it happened. This was several months ago, but Tyrese was suing Home Depot. Tyrese sued Home Depot, and he basically is suing for racial discrimination. This was after he has workers who were working at his house, and his workers went to Home Depot. He claims that himself and his workers experienced racial discrimination. And so he opened up a lawsuit against them, and they have now determined via surveillance that Tyrese was lying in the lawsuit. What lies? I'm not quite sure. I guess the details of it are still to be revealed. But, bottom line is that they're saying surveillance has you on camera, sir. And maybe it is not quite what you're saying in this lawsuit. So we'll see what happens with that. I don't know. I feel like Tyrese needs a win. I feel like Tyrese needs a win out here because it just seems like he keeps taking these L's. But maybe it's the season. Maybe it's his season to learn, reflect, change, adapt. We don't know. I guess we will wait to see also what will happen with this lawsuit. Of course, you know I am going to keep you posted here on the Raw Report. 25 years ago, 4 incredible albums dropped. Now, this is only if you are a fan of hip hop, then this will feel good. If you don't like hip hop, then just, bypass this. But 4 albums dropped on the same day. Outkast's Aquemini, Jay-Z's Volume 2 Hard Knock Life, Mos Def and Talib Kweli are Black Star, and Tribe Called Quest The Love Movement. That's major. If you ain't know, that's major on the same day. Wow. That's just music to my ears. That to me is the epitome. That's what I was talking about the other day. I miss that real good hip hop, that real good music. And, I'm missing it over here. But it's good to reminisce as well. They gave us a lot of great, great music. And so you never know, because I've also seen that they're still performing. They're still taking on all kinds of, concerts and throwback concerts and stuff like that. So it may not be over necessarily. But let's go ahead and get into the Raw Report, Andy.
Now it's time for a breakdown.
Okay. All right. Well, I mentioned to you earlier that there's some big news regarding Tupac. After 27 years, they have finally revealed who has been arrested for the connection, who has been connected with the alleged involvement in the death of Tupac Shakur. Now, people have been talking about it. There's been rumors and all kinds of things. And if you remember, even just a couple of weeks ago, there had been some activity. All in Vegas, there have been some activities, but now there is an arrest. And I have questions about this. We've been waiting and sort of, on edge, and just it even became who shot you? Who shot Pac? It became a thing. And now that we're starting to get some answers, I need to see how this is going to settle the culture, how it's going to settle with us. And so we'll talk about that definitely on the other side. We're also talking about Lauren London, who made an appearance at Revolt World over the weekend. And she's revealing to everybody why she's not on social media. If you remember Lauren London, she lost her partner and child's father, the one and only Nipsey Hussle. She lost him, and pretty much right after that, very soon after that, she shut down. She went MIA from social media for quite some time, but she's revealing why. You see her post every once in a while, but why she stays off of social media. So I wonder if she's giving us a heads up. I wonder if she's giving us some tools and tips that we might want to listen to without going through the tragedy and the trauma, of course, but maybe she's dropping some nuggets. We'll see. We're also going to talk about Kountry Wayne. Are you familiar with Kountry Wayne? He's the comedian. I actually really like him. He blew up on social media for a while. But he's doing some other things. He's acting and all these things. We are going to discuss how much money Kountry Wayne actually pays a month for his family. Y'all, I don't know if you're going to believe it or not, but we will talk about it and break it down on the other side with our contributor of the day. You are listening to The Raw Report on KBLA Talk 1580. Stay there.
Yo, what's going on? It's your boy Eric Bellinger hanging out right here with my family at The Raw Report. Keep it locked.
You're inside The Raw Report with Robin Ayers on KBLA Talk 1580.
What's up? I'm Danelle Riley, FAMU alumni and creator of the HBCU Culture Shop. I am so proud of my new partnership with Black Beyond Measure and Target. They help me elevate community pride with my HBCU designs and continue to support Black creators and entrepreneurs with Target HBCU challenges, scholarship programs, and campus collaborations. Let's come together this homecoming season and beyond. Shop my brand and discover other Black-owned products at target.com/blackbeyondmeasure.
I'm Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. I learned about atrial fibrillation the hard way. My symptoms would come and go. Shortness of breath, fatigue. I kept going. Then I got so lightheaded, I couldn't. My doctor said I have AFib, so I'm about 5 times more likely to have a stroke. Other symptoms, irregular heartbeat, heart racing, chest pain can come and go, but the risk of stroke stays. If you have symptoms, tell a doctor. Visit notimetowait.com.
Sponsored by Bristol Myers Squibb and Pfizer. Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack, but not with ZipRecruiter. Its powerful technology actively finds and invites qualified candidates to apply to your job. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you the needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. Try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
What makes Taco Bell's rolled chicken tacos so good? Is it the shredded, marinated, all-white meat chicken? Well, yeah, obviously. But it's also the 3 amazing dipping sauces to choose from. Spicy ranch, warm nacho cheese sauce, and house-made daily guacamole. Now, if you need a third reason, their white corn tortillas are fried to golden perfection, which everyone knows is the best kind of perfection. Order rolled chicken tacos on the Taco Bell app. Get 1 dip for 2-pack or 2 dips for 4-pack at participating Taco Bell stores for a limited time only while supplies last.
I was crossing the street when I met the love of my life. I chased after her. Nothing would stand in my way. Not the dog walker, nor the hot dog vendor. Finally reaching her, I asked, "What do you call that amazing smell?"
It's Gain Flings.
Gain Flings. My love had a name, but more importantly, it had a scent.
Fall in love with Gain Flings. Seriously good scent. Gain Flings with 50% more freshness ingredients versus leading bargain detergent.
Hey, Dad, how do airplanes fly? What's in this box? Is this tree good for climbing? How are babies made? What does this thing do?
Kids are curious about everything, including guns. Talking to them about gun safety in your home is a good first step, but you can do more. Always keep your guns locked, unloaded, and stored separately from ammunition. Safe gun storage saves lives. Learn how to make your home safer at endfamilyfire.org. That's endfamilyfire.org. Brought to you by End Family Fire, Brady, and the Ad Council.
Giving you your daily dose of entertainment and celebrity news.
You're inside the Raw Report.
With Robin Ayers on KBLA Talk 1580.
Okay, before we go ahead and get started, I do have a question for you. I'm getting ready to put this over in our YouTube chat. I want you to tell me, again, I like to know who it is that I'm talking to. You guys are, at this point, y'all are community. Y'all are our extended family over here. So I like to get to know you a little bit. With that being said, my question for you, at least at the moment, I do have another question for you, but my question right now is, how do you utilize social media? Is it business and branding? Is it in personal, family, or is it a bit of both? I know for me, my personal or my social media, all of my social media has changed so much over the years. It used to be very, very personal and family driven and all of that. But now, you know, we switch things up because we enter different stages of our lives and we, you know, kind of maneuver through and switch things up accordingly. So I want to know from you guys right now. That's over in our YouTube chat. So go ahead and vote on that poll. But right now, I do want to get to our contributor of the day. This is Miles, Blocks and Miles to Mogul. How are you today?
I'm doing good with that introduction.
You like I put some energy on that? I mean, it's Friday. I'm going to give you energy, Miles.
I love it.
Yes. Okay. So I have to know from you, you know, I think it's only fair that I ask you as well. How do you utilize social media? Is it business and branding? Is it, you know, family and showing your friends, and or is it a bit of both?
Social media for me is a tool. That is all it is. I post and I ghost. That's it. That's all I do.
You post and you ghost?
I post and I ghost. You will not really catch me scrolling unless I'm just in a rut that day or something like that. But most of the time, if I'm going to it, I know exactly whose page I'm trying to go to, what information I'm trying to get, all that stuff, or I'm posting for myself, but I rarely post. I'm trying to do a better job of doing that because, you know, I just think it's just too much on there. It's too hard to be in the real world, which is like reality, and then living in the virtual world. And a lot of people are living 2 different lives on those two in those 2 different spaces.
You speaking
and I
facts?
can't.
You speaking facts over here, Miles?
I can't personally deal with it. Like, my soul is like, what is happening here? You know, if everybody was so real on their social media and they would say things like, you know, I'm really going through it, I'm going through that, or you know, this and that is going on, I would understand. And we see that sometimes, but sometimes when we see that, I think people just want attention. I mean, like your everyday things that maybe you don't necessarily share. I just feel like social media is a highlight reel for most people.
Yeah.
Or it's a place where they just go to have people feel sorry for them.
Okay,
but
well,
I'm
you
just
getting
like,
too
we're
good
not
over here,
missing out.
Miles. You getting too good. I'm gonna need you to table some of that because we are gonna talk about Lauren
Okay,
London.
all right, let me say it. I'm sorry.
Yes,
I'm sorry. I'm in my feels.
You and your feel. Well, keep the feels. Keep them until just a little bit because I want to get your take on, how she feels and if you agree. It sounds like you definitely agree, but I'll let everybody hear that clip in a little bit. I want to get straight into the news of Tupac Shakur. It's been 27 years. 27 years. I remember it like it was yesterday, just finding out about Tupac, and it's almost unbelievable to think that this man's person who took his life has been walking around for 27 years. It's hard to believe. But now we know that someone who has been in the news, someone who has been in the streets, have been talking about for quite some time, Dwayne Keefe D. Davis was arrested for his involvement. And so it seems as though the thing that I take away from it, from just reading people's comments and things, is they're happy. Of course, you want someone to be held accountable for the loss of such a huge treasure for us. Just in society, we loved Tupac. We still love Tupac and everything that he meant to us. But I get the feeling that some people are like, well, because we've seen arrests, we've seen people be charged and then let go. And so it's like, okay, we need to, I'm getting, what I'm understanding from people and how they feel is, okay, we need to see a conviction before we get too happy or before we will have any peace with this. How do you feel about that?
Man, this is close to my heart. Me and Tupac are birthday twins. He was like my original crush. I was crushed when he died.
Yeah.
So, and his pictures were all over my wall growing up, all the posters and everything. I'm in my office right now looking at a picture of him on my wall, and I just think like, dang, this took so freaking long.
Wow.
And to even know that this guy actually told people in 2010, based on the information that I've been reading, that he's had certain conversations about this, and we've kind of let it kind of just go on this long. This guy's 60 years old. Like, he's lived a full life, essentially, right? So a part of me is like just sad because he took away such talent, such ambition, such a pillar of our community, somebody to look up to, somebody to listen to, somebody that just had, common sense and grew up with a strong, Black family upbringing. Like, his mom and his godparents are part of like the Black Panthers. He is Black culture. So just to know that this guy has been just walking freely and they caught him on a walk home, it's like, are you serious right now? Like, a part of me is happy that he's caught, but another part of me is like, why did it take so long when it was such a public situation?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yes. I 100% agree with you. And again, because he was, what was so secretive, what was so protected that he wasn't caught up before? He wasn't arrested or any of that. It just feels like everyone talked about this on the streets. Everybody sort of knew, and he talked about it multiple times. So how was he so protected that he hadn't been caught in all this time? But this type of situation actually reminds me much of Bill Cosby and what he went through, like having done your dirt and you sort of lived a certain amount of time. Sort of what people would say is like having gotten away with it, not to say that that's true, but I'm just saying, like, in his latter years, Bill Cosby spent, how long did Bill Cosby, I'd have to Google it and find out exactly how many years he spent, but in prison. So it's looking like it, even looking at this man's, his mugshot, it's just like, you are an old man, sir. And if you are convicted, prayerfully so, if this is the right guy, I'm sure, if he is the right guy, there will be a conviction. Right now, he's allegedly the guy. But if this is true, he is getting ready to spend the latter parts of his life in prison for something he committed 27 years ago. I mean, it is mind-boggling to me.
Right. Yeah. And based on what I've read too, he just said all he told authorities is like, I was in the car and it was coming from the back seat. You know what I mean? Like, so I'm just, and he was facing drug charges, I guess, in 2010 when he had a meeting with the federal and local authorities about his drug charges and facing life in prison. And so they said, oh, if you tell us information, you're cool, we'll protect you. And now this is coming out. So I don't know, honestly, what to believe, because he has a whole book with this information in it. So it's like, what have the authorities been doing, and who are we protecting and why?
That is
actually
a very good question. Yeah.
Drugs versus, the killing of Tupac. Come on, those are two different things. Like, you're going down for the killing of Tupac. Forget about your drug charges. So, yeah.
Whew. Well, you make such a great point. It makes you question. I mean, we already know that there's so much corruption within law enforcement and things like that. It's just been proven over the years. So I'm not saying anything that is surprising to anyone, but it just makes you feel like there's something allegedly that has gone on with that entire situation. But, at the end of the day, he is now behind bars, and so we hope to see that there is a conviction if he is, in fact, the one that did it. So do you think, just last question before we move on, do you think that seeing a conviction will help settle the feeling, settle the peace within the culture in and of itself, or do you feel like people have just moved on anyway?
I think people are still going to have a lot of questions. Like, I'm just really wondering, like, why did this take so long? And, like, what protection did he have? Because clearly he had some type of protection. So I think it's going to just create more questions, to be honest. I think people that really don't know a lot about this, maybe people that are younger, will be like, oh, good, they found their killer. But I think people that are older, that this was really close to them, they'll be like, wait, hold on a minute. The math is not mathing. So we'll see.
The math ain't mathin'. Speaking of math, and it ain't mathin'. You know who ain't mathin' for me?
I know.
Country Wayne. The math ain't mathin', Country Wayne. What you mean? Okay, we have this clip? I want to go ahead and play this clip. He was on the Sherry Shepherd show talking about how much he pays per month for his family. Let's go ahead and take a listen to it.
Have you splurged on anything?
Yeah, I splurged more than child support, because child support is the biggest thing. That calls splurging, because that's every month.
Okay, you splurge on child support? How much is your child support?
Oh, my goodness.
Can I ask you that?
Yeah, my child support, my family costs me about $200 a month.
$200?
$200,000.
$200,000?
It don't have to cost me that much.
What?
It just child support come with baby mama support. Everybody come behind the children with their hands out. So
oh my goodness!
I splurged some things, cars and all that. I just got $1 million worth of cars, but it ain't nothing like that child support where people with feet walk up on you.
Oh man, he talking about 200,000. How do you pay $200,000 per month to sustain your family? He's talking about he has 10 children, so he sustains his kids' lives and the baby mamas. Now, this is the conversation right here. That's more, I'm curious. I want to talk about that. You're paying for the baby mamas. That's sort of like what Nick Cannon was saying. He's got all these children, and he says he doesn't put his kids' mothers on like any sort of budget, but he says they get whatever they want. So I wonder if similarly that's what Wayne is talking about. But Miles, $200,000? Tell me, is that mathin'?
It's not mathing. And I know, Robin, we're not supposed to be all up in anybody's pockets because we're not on the account. We're not an authorized user. I get it. But $200,000 a month? I Googled this dude. He's supposed to annually make 2.5. If you multiply 200K by 12, that's 2.4 million. So you telling me we only got 100,000 left for the year? It's not working out for me.
I'm so glad you did that's my girl right there. That's my type of lady. I love you. You like, I'm gonna go to the internet and I'm gonna research his net worth and I'm gonna start doing some math, because you're right. I don't understand. It's very possible, by the way, we talk about this often, where on Google, they get the numbers wrong. People they've shown in real life, okay? I remember Chad Ojocinco having that conversation. He was on a podcast, and he was like, whoever the host was, they said, oh, well, Google said you are about, your net worth is $5 million. he opens up his phone and goes to his actual checking account. He was like, what'd that say? He was like, you don't have to say the number, but what does that say? And they're like, oh, clearly Google is wrong, right? And so oftentimes, many people have spoken about this. Keke Palmer, there's so many people who have said Google's, they don't have it right. So maybe he does make a little bit more. Maybe he is worth more than the 2.5 million that it says that he's worth. But still, with 10
that
kids,
don't make sense.
It just, I just don't know. I mean,
don't make sense.
It could be looking real good for you right now. Like right now, while you're at the height, it could be looking very good for you right now. I just don't know, again, how you sustain that. And should he, again, I'm asking you to get in his pockets when we are not authorized users on the account. But hypothetically speaking, should he go ahead and try to figure out a way right now that he can actually sustain it for the rest of his life? Because I'm sure he's doing this based on his income right now, but we've seen many times. We were talking about Wayne Brady yesterday, who was at the height of his career and had taken several years off. He wasn't in the same he wasn't, all around on television and doing all the things that he was before. So I'm sure his checking account sort of took a hit as well. So sometimes you are on top and you're making all the money so you can live a certain type of lifestyle. But I mean, should he go ahead and figure out how to get that number at least to 100,000? I mean, something.
He needs to calm that all the way down. We've seen what happened to MC Hammer. Rolling with the big entourage.
Yeah.
And there was no money left. There's a ton of athletes, there's a ton of entertainers that probably are calling him right now and tomorrow. And I hope that they are and saying, bro, you don't need to be spending all that money. The baby mamas need to get some jobs. The only job you have is to take care of the kids.
Yeah,
Holly Berry is paying $8,000 a month.
Yes.
$8,000 a month.
$8,000.
So
now,
why is she paying $8,000 a month for?
Yeah, she only got the one kid.
Go ahead.
She got the one kid. Well, she has two children, but one that she's paying the $8,000 for.
But she's worth $90 million, and Google is not right all the time. So we're just gonna say she's maybe worth more than that, right?
Yeah.
So it just, to me, it's like you're doing it now. Like you said, you made a great point, but we don't know if his career is gonna get even bigger. But based on the Netflix special I saw, I think so.
Okay.
So I think he's headed in the Kevin Hart direction.
Okay,
but
we
just don't know. Like, you just never know.
Yeah.
Like, you could say the wrong thing. Something can happen. You can lose
You
endorsements.
can get canceled,
Things can go wrong.
I'm knocking on wood that will not happen to him, because I am a Country Wayne fan. I really am, and I hope that he does a lot. I hope he does a whole lot, more in the future. Someone says, duh, Tyrese pays $20K for one child. Wayne has 10 kids. He equals 200,000. 200,000. The maths. Okay, Marvelous Marvin, thank you so much for trying to check us. Hey, listen, right now we got news, traffic, and sports. We're going to continue this conversation on the other side. You are listening to the Rob Report on KBLA Talk 1580. Stay right there.
What's going on, y'all? It's your boy Lil Rel Howery. Right now you're listening to KBLA Talk 1580. That's right, the Rob Report.
More of the Rob Report with Robin Ayers when we come forward.
I'm Esther Dillard, and here's the latest from the Black Information Network. One of Donald Trump's co-defendants in the Georgia election interference case is taking a plea deal and will testify. Bail bondsman Scott Hall was charged in connection to the alleged breach of voting machine equipment in Coffee County following Trump's 2020 election loss. He's the first defendant in the case to plead guilty to the charges and will serve 5 years probation. Minority homeowners say they have experienced significant discrimination in their search for a house. A new survey from Redfin asked Black, Hispanic, and Asian buyers if they ever felt that either sellers, their agents, or landlords were less eager to work with them because of their ethnicity or race. 32% of Black buyers said yes, as well as 36% of Hispanics and 20% of Asian buyers. And that's the latest. I'm Esther Dillard from the Black Information Network and BINnews.com. In
Tosa Mesa, drive carefully as a crash has been reported in unknown lanes of the 405 North at Harbor Boulevard and expect stop traffic forming from Fairview Road. In Irvine's 5 North between Culver Drive and Ball Road, there's a 35-minute traffic jam at the moment. 60 East in Hacienda Heights after Hacienda Boulevard has an accident that remains in the second lane from the left, which is still blocked with heavy traffic flow coming from 7th Avenue. In Pomona, a singular crash has the right lane blocked on the 57 South before Temple with heavy traffic coming from the 10.
Hi, I'm Kyle at Blindster.com. Since 2010, Blindster has sold millions of custom blinds, shades, and shutters to satisfied customers across the country with 20,000 5-star reviews and an A+ rating from the Better Business Bureau. Custom blinds at low prices and free shipping. Blindster.com.
This is the KBLA Sports Minute with Ray Richardson.
New York Jets general manager Joe Douglas has yet to offer a response to the letter he received from Colin Kaepernick on September 21st, and it looks like he won't. Kaepernick was asking for a tryout after the Jets lost quarterback Aaron Rodgers for the season with a torn Achilles tendon. The only response from Douglas came on Wednesday when he signed veteran backup Trevor Siemian, a 7th-round pick of Denver in 2015. The sad reality is that the NFL does not want to see Kaepernick in the league again. The Chargers play the Raiders Sunday at SoFi Stadium. The Rams are back on the road Sunday at Indianapolis. The Dodgers will be the number 2 seed in the National League playoffs. Atlanta secured the top seed with the win over Chicago Thursday night. Atlanta will also have home field advantage throughout the playoffs. No debates, no speculation, just the info you need. That's your KBLA Sports Minute. I'm Ray Richardson on KBLA Talk 1580.
Gotta stay fresh, my house shot with a rest spot,
Have you visited us online for the grand opening of KBLA.store? For the best in new merch, gift ideas, books, media, and more, log on to KBLA.store. Be sure to check out our KBLA team favorites at KBLA.store today. That's KBLA.store for all the official merch on your favorite talk radio station, KBLA Talk 1580.
The bounce is back.
KBLA Talk 1580. We've got a lot to talk about.
Maisha Cairo here with a quick recap for my time at JP Morgan Chase's Advancing Black Wealth Tour. There were speakers Ian Dunlap, Damon John, Lynn Richardson, MC Light, Don Kennedy, to name a few. Take a listen to what Justin Grant, Community Development Lead at Chase's Advancing Black Pathway, let's see what he had to say.
So I'm Justin Grant. I lead community development and national partnerships for JP Morgan Chase's Advancing Black Pathway strategy. And so we're focused on strengthening the economic foundation of black communities, and we're making targeted investments in programs like the Advancing Black Wealth Tour to help us get our tools and resources out to the community to drive sustained impact over time.
So when it comes to black and brown people, it sounds like Chase is making it their personal responsibility not only to facilitate these events, but to educate and provide resources. So, Mr. Grant, I have to ask, what does wealth building look like for the individual?
It's home ownership, it's having that freedom to be able to start your own business and create jobs in your community, and it's having that long-term plan towards retirement, having that vision for what you want your life to be, and you have the resources to actually live it.
I'm Maisha Cairo. Thanks for sticking around. That was my recap from Chase's Advancing Black Wealth Tour. First stop was here in LA, and they're taking it national.
KBLA Talk 1580 stands for Unity and Healing. African Focus Incorporated is a nonprofit organization based in California that focuses on the growth and well-being of Africans all around the world. Their mission is to promote the well-being of people of African descent through knowledge and appreciation of one another by building a bridge of love and understanding. African Focus Incorporated strives for cultural, educational, and economic growth. They're the organization behind the African Family Induction Ceremony, African Goodwill Awards, African Focus Trailblazer Tours, African Dance Competition, and Showcase Los Angeles, Family Day, Good News Windows Microfinance Project, and more. To volunteer, travel with African Focus, or to attend one of their community building events, please call 310-676-7730. That's 310-676-7300. Or visit AfricanFocus.org. This is a diaspora-wide community call to action from KBLA Talk 1580.
Keeping you informed about what's really going on. Who's got next? And what not to miss in entertainment. You're listening to The Rob Report on KBLA Talk 1580.
inside the Raw Report on KBLA Talk 1580. Man, Andy, wait, you have to take me back. When we used to do our, was this the song that I used that I didn't get props for, Andy? Okay, so Andy want to go ahead and throw this. What y'all know about this? LSG right there. That's LSG, right? Let me, before I start talking mess. Okay, that's LSG. What y'all know about that LSG? Okay, hope you are feeling good on this Friday. We are having a great conversation with our contributor, Miles Blockson. I'm always loving when you call, Miles, because you just have so much to talk about. You were going in on this particular comment, so I want to go ahead and get straight to it right now. If you're just joining us, of course, we talked about Tupac and the fact that the man that has been connected to his involvement, to the death of Tupac Shakur, has been arrested, and it's been 27 years. 27 years. But we're happy about it. We just need to see a conviction, so we'll feel better in the community. We are also talking about Kountry Wayne, whom I love, by the way. I think he's a funny guy. I'm rooting for him all the time. But we said the math ain't mathing, and somebody over here tried to correct us. And this is Marvelous Marvin over here. He said, "Duh, Tyrese paid $20K for one child. Wayne has 10. He pays $200K. Well, listen, he says that is in total his entire family. He spends that. Children included, yes, but the mothers of his children, all 10 kids that he pays for as well. So anyway, we will leave that topic alone and jump on this Lauren London conversation. Well, I love Lauren London. Let me just say that. I love her, and I understood when she got MIA from social media. This was after the death of her love, her partner, her life partner, Nipsey Hussle, was taken from us way too early. And she pretty much stayed off of social media. She started coming on a little bit more, especially when she was collaborating with Puma and doing a lot of things with his foundation and clothing foundation and his foundation and his clothing line. She was doing a lot of different things as far as social media is concerned, but for the most part, that's all you really see of her. She talked about the reason why she's at Revolt, and she's being asked the question of why doesn't she post on social media. Let's take a listen to what Lauren London had to say.
It's only because it's just filled with so many opinions, and I believe opinions are like little weapons that hurt everyone to the core, and I don't want to be a part of that.
It's interesting that you said you suck at it. I feel that maybe it's people out here who feel like every time we get a post from you, it's like, oh, Lauren posted. We gotta check this out.
Because I'm not, like, I guess, like, I don't post enough, and I guess I should, but I also don't want to, like, play the game.
Okay. You know what? You had so much to say, Miles. Go ahead and take it away. Do you agree, number one, with Lauren London, the fact that she says everyone's opinions are like little weapons? Oh my gosh, I've never really heard it put that way. It's so simple, but it's so profound, and I agree with her. What do you think about that?
I totally believe that, because I believe at the end of the day, we're all connected and we're all one. So when you say negative things, that goes at that person, that affects them and their energy, and that affects you too, because you're hurting yourself in the process. So it's like you're attacking each other and you don't even know it. So I think that that's what she's talking about, because I feel like she's really been on her energy journey and figuring out who she is, being more connected to self. But when you really start doing the work and you think about when you gossip and when you do all this stuff, how you feel when you go home, you feel very low vibrational. You probably feel exerted. Your energy's gone, the whole nine. So I believe when you get onto social media, if you're scrolling and you're looking at everybody's life and you're seeing everybody's opinion and people have opinions about you, that's what happens. I mean, I post stuff that I'm in the gym and I'm playing around and people be like, oh, you didn't bend your knees enough. And I'm like, are you a trainer?
Oh, really?
Like,
wow.
Are you qualified? Are you certified? Like, well, I have a trainer right here behind the camera, taking the video. So I can only imagine what she probably went through and what other people go through that are on these major platforms, because everybody has an opinion about your life and what you're doing. And, it's just one of those places. It's like going to Walmart to me. When you go to Walmart, you see all different types of people. You're subjected to any type of personality. It does not matter. That's what social media is. You don't get to decide what type of class of people you're going to be around. You don't get to decide your atmosphere. You just have to deal with everybody.
Wait, but let me ask you a question.
You know.
Is each social media platform different? Like Walmart versus Target? You get what I mean? Are you going to get a certain type of person going to Instagram than you would at on Twitter or X? I mean, you know.
To me, it's all the same thing. It's like when a new spot gets popping and it's a nice crowd of people. You're like, oh, that crowd was so nice. 3 weeks later, when everybody else find out about it, it goes downhill. That's how social media platforms are.
You know what? I agree with you to a certain extent. I do feel like Facebook is the nicest, probably kindest social media platform. And that's just because, you know, when Facebook first came out, it was really about reconnecting with family, connecting with old classmates and things like that. It was a reconnecting tool. It was a platform to find people. Right. So, of course, you know these people in real life. Facebook is more about who you know in real life. That's literally how I see it.
I can see that.
Yeah, Instagram, I'm like, y'all almost get different content from me on Instagram than you would on Facebook because, again, I know you all on Facebook. Instagram, it is really more about, for me, at this stage in the game, it's really more about not even branding so much. I don't necessarily care as much as I used to about branding, but it is career driven. It is really a highlight reel, like you mentioned before. It is definitely more so that. But even, and I honestly say that I'm one of the nicest people in the world, but don't come for me because I'm so nice. You get what I'm saying? Like, don't come for me because I will literally, I may not have time, but I'm going to find time to come at you. And like, we're going to go head to head on social media.
Man.
You know, and it's true sometimes because I feel like none of what I posted warranted all of these comments from certain people. Now, I do take a lot of clips from this show, Miles. I take clips from this show when it's really engaging conversations, and I might take like a little snippet and put it on Instagram or put it on TikTok, and a lot of them garner a lot of attention. And with people who don't know me, people who don't follow me, they just come on because they find the real, they find the content. And when I tell you people have come at my neck, I'm talking about, so the whole like little weapons thing, she's so right about it. So what I've had a tendency to do is, like you said, I post and I ghost. Sometimes I'll you know, engage in conversation if I feel like it's worth it. But after a while, I'm like, okay, yeah, y'all can have it. I just put it on here because I wanted y'all to go. I wanted you guys to get into it, not me. You get what I mean?
Right. No, I totally agree with you, and I totally understand. And I like the way that you look at the platforms in a different way. You know, but I just don't think everybody looks at it the way that you look at it. Like, I think that I also see Facebook as more of like a family in like college, because I remember when it first came out, it was all about, you had to be in college to get on Facebook. And then they start opening up to more people and more people and more people. So my mom is probably the most active on Facebook than she is on any platform. So I do tend to be, it's more family oriented for me when I do respond to something. And it's mostly family members and old people that I went to school with and stuff like that. But I also hear from some of my friends, they'll be like, I had a crazy argument on Facebook today. And I'm like, about what?
Like, who could you be arguing with on Facebook?
Some people go at it on Facebook about politics, religion, whatever, you name it. They have all out debates, and I'm like, where is this happening at and why? So you'll be surprised how people utilize it differently, you know?
Yes. What I do also have to realize, though, is that every single person, everyone is in a different stage of their life, right? There, at one point, I put out everything personal. I branded my family, actually. We became the billionaires. You know, our family was completely branded on social media, and we branded it so well that if you ever saw us in real life, people started screaming out, billionaires. You know what I mean? Like, we brand, because hey, come on now. I mean, you know, it's trademark now. You know, billionaires is trademark. You know, come on. We about that business too. But anyway, yes. Anyway, my point is that it was really all about family, and that's until I got my career started going in the right direction. I started doing interviews, and then it really became about trying to build a brand, trying to build a career for myself and a brand for myself. And then I got to a point where I was like, not to sound a certain kind of way. I don't want this to come off like I'm I don't know how you guys are going to take it. But anyway, I was like, you know what? At a certain point, I don't need to brand myself anymore. If you're curious about me, the famous words, you can Google me, right?
Google me.
The famous words, go ahead and Google me. If you are curious, I stopped trying to brand myself because at a certain point, it is what it is. Like there's enough information out there that I don't have to like try to prove everything that I've done when I have done that as well. I've tried to prove to get better, to get bigger, to get better. But, I'm just at a different place in my life. Sometimes I'm like, oh, let me post a picture because I think I look cute today. Other times I'm like, this is a great interview. Other times it is about my family. So, I think everybody just has a different place in their life, and that's how they utilize social media. Quick question about this, Miles, and feel free to jump in after this. But do you feel as though social media is going to reset at some point? Like it's too big, it's too monotonous, it's the same thing every single day, there's nothing new. Can we keep going that way, or is it becoming redundant, and do we need to reset the button somehow?
I think something else is going to come out that's going to be even more addictive, to be quite honest, because I think like people are eating this up when it comes to money. It's all about the advertising. It's all about the money. They start things and they're free, and then they start getting money from it. So to me, I don't know what's going to happen unless the government gets involved like other governments do in other countries and say, hey, we can't have Facebook here. We can't have Instagram. There's certain places you travel, you don't have access to certain things, filters and all. So, I don't know if America is ready for that. I don't know if we're just like too far into ourselves to ever get to a point to where we really want to just have these face-to-face conversations and, be around each other like we used to. Because now we just do everything through social media. Oh, did you see what I posted yesterday? I'll ask my friends straight up, how was your weekend? They'll be like, oh, you didn't see my post? I'm asking you in your face how your weekend is.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? We're getting to that point to where it's like, oh, you should know everything about me. When I don't see you for 3 weeks, I should have been keeping up with your feed. So I just don't know. I think that we're too far into this new space of like, I posted so everybody should know what's going on in my life. And I really, really, really struggle with that because I don't post all of my wins. I keep them to myself because I'm in the moment when I'm there. And I feel guilty because I'm like, I never posted anything. And it's like, it's a struggle. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
I think that we would have to get out of that mindset in order for us to have a reset. And who's going to do the reset? Who's responsible for that?
Yeah, great question. I don't even have the answer, but I do know that everything goes through a reset. All things. The thing that we think is the coolest thing in the world, at some point something different will come, or everything has a capacity. Everything is a bubble, and at some point the bubble, if it gets too heavy, if it gets too full, it will burst and something else will kind of come in its place, or someone will take that and make it better. So to your point, something could be coming along that's even more addictive. I'm not sure, but what I'm trying to learn to do at this stage of my life is literally just have breaks from social media, weeks or months at a time, to where you don't have to know everything that I'm doing, or where to catch me. Y'all know I'm on here at KBLA 1580, 6 to 7 p.m. Y'all know I'm here. So if you want to tap in, come on and tap in. But I don't have to be on social media all the time, because you do have to quiet the noise from time to time. So that's just what I'm learning right now. And hopefully whatever comes in the future, I will be already adjusted to, taking breaks and things like that. So that is just me and how I roll. Wow. Okay. So yeah. Anyway, Miles Blockson, it's so fun to have you on having conversations. Please let everybody know where they can find you online.
milestomogul.com and milestomogul on Instagram. So it's MILESTOMOGUL. And thanks for having me, Robin.
It's so funny because here we are talking about staying off of social media. And I'm like, where can everybody find you online? And you're like, girl, if you don't stop giving out this profile.
I got you.
Okay, that's all good. Well, listen, we appreciate you so much and definitely appreciate you calling. And we'll look forward to another conversation with you soon.
Thank you.
Enjoy your night. When we come forward, I might try to do something a little bit different. I want to come up with another type of thing that I want you guys to get familiar with. And we might try that on the other side. You're listening to The Raw Report on KBLA Talk 1580. Stay right there.
Hey, I'm Damian Young. I'm chilling with Robin on The Raw Report.
You're inside The Raw Report with Robin Ayers on KBLA Talk 1580.
Applications are now being accepted for the City of Los Angeles Emergency Renters Assistance Program. The program provides up to 6 months of rental arrears to low-income residential renters who are at risk of homelessness due to unpaid rent as a result of COVID-19 or other financial hardship. Applications will not be accepted after 6 p.m. on October 2nd, 2023. Go online 24/7 at housing.lacity.org or call 888-379-3150 from 8 a.m. to 6 p.m. Monday through Friday and see if you qualify. Apply today.
For all of us, this generation and the next, there is simply no place in our lives for litter. And yet, it's everywhere we look, and unfortunately, it does belong to all of us. So let's come together and create a litter-free, clean California once and for all. Remember to properly dispose of your trash and recycling. Secure truckloads with tarps to keep debris from flying out. Clean out your car when you're at the gas station. Take pride in your community by organizing a cleanup event or join a cleanup event near you. Zero litter is the goal. Join us at cleanca.com. That's cleanca.com. Let's do it together. Brought to you by Caltrans. cleanca.com.
You are now in Big Tobacco's Fantasyland. Welcome. It's a healthier world where they want you to believe that vaping makes quitting cigarettes a breeze. Never mind the evidence that vaping leads to using both. And if you're younger, even better, teens who vape are 3 times likelier to use cigarettes. In Big Tobacco's Fantasyland, the deadliest industry is your friend.
Big Tobacco's idea of smoke-free is a dangerous fantasy for us all. See reality at undo.org.
Be ready for extreme heat in your area. On days when extreme heat is expected, take action to keep your home as cool as possible. Set your air conditioner to 78 degrees. If AC isn't available, close blinds and curtains on all windows and run fans counterclockwise. Or find your nearest cooling center. Transportation help may be available. Learn more at heatreadyca.com. Brought to you by the state of California.
The possibility of lung cancer can be pretty scary, especially if you're one of approximately 8 million current or former smokers at high risk. That's why SaveByTheScan.org wants you to know that now there's a breakthrough low-dose CT scan that can detect lung cancer early, and it only takes 60 seconds. You stop smoking, now start screening. For an easy quiz to see if you're eligible, visit SaveByTheScan.org. It could save your life. SaveByTheScan.org is brought to you by the American Lung Association's Lung Force Initiative and the Ad Council.
Giving you your daily dose of entertainment and celebrity news. You're inside The Raw Report with Robin Ayers on KBLA Talk 1580.
Okay, so you know how we're always talking about who's got next, and really it's always surrounding musicians. I've noticed that a lot. But we did talk about starting to open it up a little bit, trying to, put more people on the map or just show you things that are happening that you may not have seen. This is what you should know. This is going to be something new. So work with me here. Well, this one comes from Alex Ohanian. He is the husband to Serena Williams. As you know, they share 2 children together. But he made this video, and I just thought it was the cutest thing and maybe something we could all implement in our own lives, not being on television. All right, if that you'll understand after we listen to the clip. Take a listen.
So I started playing this fun game with Olympia when I do live TV appearances. I'll ask her for a word or 2 that I can say on air that will let her know I'm thinking about her. This time, I was going on CNBC for the big Instacart IPO day. I was lucky enough to be a seed investor. And I asked Olympia, what do you want me to say on TV for you? And she said, taco ice cream. It wasn't easy, but let me know how you think I did.
Speaking as an individual user, the value prop of Instacart got way more compelling once I had my first kid. And even now, with a 1-month-old at home, the ability to be able to scroll through and say, hey, it's Tuesday, let's get tacos, or I just want some ice cream. Like, whether it's the impulse buy or the necessity of I just need this now, that has power, that has value. And I think the market's going to keep showing that there are needs for this. They're going to get fulfilled by folks at a price point that makes sense.
The question.
How cute is the fact that he was able to mention ice cream and taco, specifically incorporate that into his speech. It wasn't a speech necessarily, but it was his appearance, and he incorporated that just to let his daughter know that he was thinking of her right in that moment. I just thought that was the cutest thing ever. And though most of us are not on television every day or even regularly, or if ever, there are still ways I believe that we can incorporate something when it comes to our kids. Like, I'm really big on that type of thing. So it just raises the awareness a little bit. So anyway, that is what you should know. Now, what I don't want you to miss is something that I've seen recently. Equalizer 3. Andy, have you seen Equalizer 1 or 2? 1 or 2? What? Andy, it's Denzel Washington. Okay, all right, we're going to have a little talk after the show. It's Denzel Washington. First of all, Equalizer 1 is a different kind of movie. Like, it's a different kind of movie. And then Equalizer 2, I felt like, okay, all right, cool, but it's always hard to add up to that first, movie. Well, Equalizer 3 came out September 1st, and it's in theaters right now. Obviously, the strike was happening, so a lot of people weren't able to promote their movies, promote their shows. But I'm like over here doing it for Denzel. Okay, we got to go ahead and support. We did watch the movie. I felt like it was beautiful. It was fantastic. And he reunited with Dakota Fanning, who was in the movie Man on Fire. The movie Man on Fire. Remember Denzel saving the little girl, Dakota Fanning? Well, anyway, they have reunited in this film. It is really beautiful. I think you guys should definitely check that out and support. Again, that's the name of the game. It is about supporting. It's been a great week, you guys. It's a great week. Happy Friday. Hello to you, William. Is it healed or held? Okay. Well, William, glad to have you on board. Hello, Angel Hall and Forrest Harrison and Deborah Chakoa and Pretty Brown Mimi was in here. Jay West, hello to you. I see you. Leela, I see you. Fahima, thank you so much. I see you as well. We appreciate it. Bruce Jones, if you're still in the building, hey to you as well. So I appreciate you guys as always. We're going to be right back on deck with another hot show next week. You already know. Well, listen, you guys, I appreciate you so much. And remember, today and every day forward to be a blessing.
KBLA 1580 Santa Monica.
I'm Esther Dillard, and here's the latest from the Black Information Network. One of Donald Trump's co-defendants in the Georgia